Welcome to Aural Sessions Radio.
Aural Sessions con Luis Hernández.
The perfect place for house, trance and progressive.
Aural Sessions con Luis Hernández.
Aural Sessions Radio, el lugar donde comienza el house.
Conecta el alma. Baila la mente.
Follow Luis Hernández. Luis Hernández Music MX. Welcome to Aural Sessions Radio.
¡Feliz cumpleaños, Aural Sessions Radio! ¡Hey! ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo están? Yo soy Luis Hernández y sean todos bienvenidos a Aural Sessions Radio. Episodio número 100. Estamos de manteles largos, estoy muy feliz, estoy muy contento. Este es el 4º aniversario de este gran programa, de este gran podcast, de este gran radio show mexicano donde mostramos talento nacional, talento internacional dentro de la escena electrónica, dentro de la escena dance, con mucha buena música y un episodio increíblemente increíble, doblemente increíble, muy increíble, bastante increíble. Pero bueno, vamos a tener bastante música, vamos a tener muchos artistas enormemente grandes, muy grandes sus nombres, grandes productores. Vamos a tener las secciones especiales, como ya lo saben, el Noisy Track, que es la recomendación más especial, más grande de todo este episodio. Tonos de la vieja escuela para regresar en el tiempo, es una canción muy especial, ya les diré por qué. Y en la propuesta local mexicana, este artista, este productor no necesita tanta introducción. Santiago Luna nos visita en la casa Aural por primera vez con un track bastante enérgico. Por si fuera poco, para hacer inolvidable todo este episodio a través de 4 años, llega en el guest mix KOLONIE a hacer una presentación increíble, una entrevista muy agradable. Thank you so much, mate. It was an amazing interview with you. Pero bueno, vamos a abrir todo este telón, esta celebración de 4 años, de 100 episodios de Aural Sessions Radio, y vamos a abrir el telón con algo de mi autoría. Esto es de Luis Hernández llamado Progresio, que ya está disponible en todas las plataformas. Ya pueden escuchar mi nuevo EP llamado Progresio en cualquier plataforma. Conecta el alma, baila la mente y sean todos bienvenidos a este gran aniversario.
Welcome to Aural Sessions Radio.
What goes around, comes around.
Aural. Aural Sessions con Luis Hernández.
Escuchaste a Shapov con Aspire llamado Es a mí, anterior a Team Underscore con Goes Around. Momento del noisy track, movimos un poquito las secciones y queda a cargo de Swedish House Mafia con su track llamado Ray of Solar, pero una versión remix por uno de los más grandes, haciendo mucha polémica con esta versión. Él es Tiesto remezclando Ray of Solar en el noisy track.
Noisy track. Noisy Track.
All these things we do for love, just to fuck it up. When it's just the two of us, we're like diamonds in the dust. All these things we do for love, can't just give it up. When it's just the two of us, we're like diamonds in the dust. Can't walk away from the feeling between you and I. Can't stop the weight of the feeling when you're by my side. All these things we do for love, just to fuck it up. When it's just the two of us, we're like diamonds in the dust.
Trance y Progressive. Solo con los mejores tracks inéditos de House, Trance y Progressive.
All these things we do for love, just to fuck it up. When it's just the two of us, we're like diamonds in the dust. All these things we do for love, can't just give it up. When it's just the two of us, we're like diamonds in the dust. Can't walk away from the feeling between you and I. Can't stop the weight of the feeling when you're by my side. All these things we do for love, just to fuck it up. When it's just the two of us, we're like diamonds in the dust. 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 We're like diamonds in the All these things we do for love, can't just give it up. When it's just the two of us, we're like diamonds in the dust.
I want it. The less you give to me, the more I want it. You push me back until I'm 2 steps forward, but I can see the signs, recognize where we're going. So the less you give to me, the more I want it.
No, I used to dream about this. Never thought it would end up this way.
The less you give to me, the more I want.
Drums. Drums. Drums.
less you give to me, the more I want it. You push me back until I'm 2 steps forward, but I can see the signs, recognize where we're going. So the less you give to me, the more I want it.
No, I used to dream about this. Never thought it would end up this way. Drums.
Follow Luis Hernández. Para más, sigue a Luis Hernández. Luis Hernández Music MX.
Drums.
The less you give to me, the more I want it. You push me back until I'm 2 steps forward, but I can see the signs, recognize where we're going. So the less you give to me, the more I want it. All I need is for you to find, all I need is for you to find. Some people say for diamond, some people say for ride. Breaking banks for a place in the city that'll keep them satisfied. I don't need your bread or your butter. What I want don't cost a dime. I need things more than a number. All I need is for you to be mine, you to be mine. All I need is for you to be mine, you to be mine. All I need is for you to be mine. If you're gonna be saving up, save your love for me. If you're gonna be saving up, save your love for me. If you're gonna be saving up, save your love for me. If you're gonna be saving up, save your love for me. Some people say for diamond, some people say for ride. Breaking banks for a place in the city that'll keep them satisfied. I don't need your bread or your butter. What I want don't cost a dime. I need things more than a number. All I need is for you to be mine, you to be mine. All I need is for you to be mine, you to be mine. All I need is for you to be mine. If you're gonna be saving up, save your love for me. If you're gonna be saving up.
Escuchaste a Dom Dolla con Saving Up, anterior a James Hype con Drums, a Richard Judge con Helen y Embody llamado In the Dust. Y es momento de la propuesta local mexicana. Este track es llamado Hiatus y es originalmente hecho por Celestial Insight con Aris, pero Santiago Luna llegó y le puso todo el talento a través de un beat bastante fresco, bastante enérgico y un poco distinto a lo que usualmente suele hacer. Santiago Luna siendo uno de los representantes más grandes dentro de la escena progresiva en México, con muchas presentaciones y teniendo a su lado muchos talentos por los cuales se ha destacado tocando en grandes festivales. Y en esta ocasión llega a la propuesta local mexicana del episodio 100 para presentar su track.
Esto es Propuesta Local.
Hola, ¿qué tal amigos? Yo soy Santiago Luna y estás escuchando mi nuevo remix a Hiatus de Celestial Insight y Aris. Y aprovecho para felicitar a Aural Sessions por su episodio número 100 y su 4º aniversario.
Propuesta local.
Escuchaste a Cream con Marlo Rex llamado Blur. Es momento de pasar ahora a la sección última antes de entrar a Guest Mix con KOLONIE, pero esto es Tonos de la Vieja Escuela. Esta canción originalmente es llamada Fiji, hecha por Atlantis, pero en un remix por sí, el invitado especial KOLONIE. Esta canción representa bastante para Aural Sessions Radio porque apareció justamente en el primer episodio de todo este programa. ¿Quieren saber por qué es especial? Pues no se pierda después de este track toda la entrevista de dónde nació.
Pero sigue fresco. Tonos de la Vieja Escuela. es nuevo, pero sigue fresco. Tonos de la vieja escuela.
Y bien, después de tanta cosa buena que ha ocurrido, es momento de ir al guest mix con KOLONIE y platicar de todo.
Here on Aural Sessions Radio to accomplish the 100th episode, and I'm very happy to announce that we have an artist with such a talent, such a productions, such a trajectory to a path, to a way on the musical industry. He doesn't need too much introduction, but here now we have KOLONIE. Hey, how are you, mate?
I'm very good, my friend. Very good. How about yourself?
I'm so glad, so happy to make this dream into reality, to have this episode of Aural Sessions Radio, a project that I started 4 years ago. And first of all, happy birthday to Aural Sessions Radio, no?
Yeah, nice. Good. So,
okay, I want to start it. I imagined how to start this interview with you, and I want to tell you a story. Would you mind to tell you a story?
Let's hear it.
Okay. 4 years ago, I was getting started with my own productions. Very bad at the first, you know, but I was in a house with some friends, waiting for them because we were gonna party, you know, and they were like shower and getting ready to the party, and I was laid down on a couch. At that moment, I was very fan from the radio shows, you know, ABGT, Criteria Radio, Healthy Radio, a lot of radio shows. And I was with my headphones laid down, and I was hearing ABGT, you know, very good ABGT. So I was down, and I was like very calm and peace, and I was hearing some music, hearing new tunes, and at that moment an intro of one song came out, and I was like, oh my god, this has like some flavor on this intro, and the music get to its tranquility part, to its calm part, and it gets the build up starts to build up more and more and more, and suddenly it came out the drop, the climax, and I was like, oh my god, I want to make this music. I want to keep hearing these tracks, these genres, and in that moment I don't know where I was, but I know that I was there, you know? You
Yeah,
know
yeah.
that feeling in the music. And the outro came out, and I was like, I want to make that music, but I got frustrated because at that moment my skills in that moment wasn't so good as such a track. And I thought, because it was a bittersweet thought, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
and I got frustrated, but then I realized, and I thought, well, there's a lot of Mexican producers, there's a lot of Mexican artists that has more talent, has more time, more effort on their projects, sorry. And I thought, why I don't design a radio show where I can share those projects, those ideas, those songs. And that was when Aural Sessions Radio, and the track that made me feel that was Atlantis Fiji Colony remix.
Ah, cool, nice, cool, man. Yeah, I mean that's one of the earlier tracks.
Yeah, October 2019.
Yeah,
It's the fourth birthday to Aural Sessions Radio, as well as Fiji at Colony remix. It's amazing, mate. Amazing. Thanks
Yeah.
for giving me that inspiration at that moment. And 4 years ago, to be here now with the protagonist that made me feel that at the moment.
Yeah, no, it's cool, man. I really appreciate it. You know, glad you like the music. That definitely goes back to the beginning of when I started releasing music. Obviously, my sound has changed quite a bit since then. But yeah, some of those tracks, they work well on the dance floor. You know, they're driving. They're good tracks.
Yeah, and it's been quite a ride with Colony and some modification. But well, let's get started, because I want the people here in Aural Sessions Radio know your project, how has been your philosophy, your musical philosophy. So I want to start with this. When does Colony start?
Yeah, so Colony started about 4 years ago. Originally it was a duo. It was me and a friend from college.
Yeah.
And I suppose the original plan with the music was to make aggressive house music, driving with catchy vocal chops, big rolling bass lines, but not be too trancey. So we was kind of, I suppose, we was taking inspiration from the likes of Eric Pritz. I suppose, yeah, Eric Pritz was one of the main artists we was taking inspiration from in the early days. And then as the sound developed over time, what we found was we was going a bit more trancier, hence the track Fiji. And there's a few others as well. You know, Inception was quite trancey. And yeah, I mean, Moments was progressive but quite trancey. So yeah, I suppose originally the plan was to make driving progressive house music, 126 BPM, 128 BPM, taking inspiration from the likes of Eric Pritz and those types of artists, really, you know. And that's kind of where it started. But I mean, now the sound's changed quite a bit, and I'm changing it a little bit more as well. So I suppose over time it's evolved. But yeah, I suppose initially I kind of had a clear sort of sound in my mind, and it was just about working with that and developing it, really. That's kind of how it started. Because originally, before Colony, I used to make a different genre. I used to make new disco music. I'm not sure, are you aware of new disco music? Have you heard of much new disco music?
Yeah, I have heard.
Yeah. So originally, before I started Colony, I was making new disco music. And when I suppose during the transition of going from making 120 BPM, 122 BPM, new disco music, which is quite funky, quite 80s inspired, from making that, just making progressive, some of the early tracks, I don't really know what they were. They kind of fused both genres, but I suppose not in a good way. I mean, we made tracks originally that we didn't release because that was kind of a little bit confusing to the listener. He was like, what am I listening to? Am I listening to progressive house, or am I listening to kind of new disco that's been sped up? So yeah, originally it took us a while. It took me and Shane quite a while to get the sound right. Because as I say, we was both making 120 BPM, 118 BPM new disco music. So yeah, it took us a while to get the sound right, and then we kind of got the sound, and we definitely had our own sound, which consisted of, I suppose, big rolling bass lines, plucky arcs, catchy vocal chops, which were also, I suppose, they were kind of like a melody in themselves really. Every track had a catchy vocal. Yeah, we kind of had certain ingredients, I suppose, we wanted to put into the track, and that's kind of how it really kind of worked, you know?
Okay. That answers to the questions for when does KOLONIE started, but this question is kind of different. Why why does KOLONIE started? Did you have I don't know, in your teenage ages the music on your mind, on your heart, or it was like a moment?
No. From a young age, I'm trying to think, from as far as I can remember, when I was maybe 10 or 11,
yeah,
I started listening to electronic music, trance music. My first introduction to electronic music was trance music. So I grew up listening to the likes of Paul van Dyk, you know, Above and Beyond, Armin van Buuren, Chicane, like some of the original trance, I suppose, the greats really, the founders of the scene. So my love for electronic music stems right back to when I was a kid, 11, 12, went to school. And I mean, it's funny because when I was a kid, I used to listen to a lot of different genres. Electronic music was always my first go-to. House music, trance music, drum and bass. But I also used to listen to a lot of hip hop, R&B music. So yeah. But the love, my original love has always come from electronic music, and that's where it stems from really. Listening to those Radio 1 essential mixes back in the day. Yeah, that's kind of where it comes from really. And then I went on holiday to Ibiza as a kid, on a family holiday, and I remember coming outside Space, which I don't know if you know, but Space was a big club in Ibiza back in the day. And I remember being about 12 or 13 at the time, and there was clubbers still coming out. It was like noon, 1 p.m, and people was coming out, and I was like, whoa, what's this? Really? I kind of heard the music, you know, what is this? And then you start researching different artists, different sounds, and then you just go from there really. That's kind of where it comes from.
Okay. So maybe the answer for that question is the love of electronic dance music, right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it has to come. You need some sort of passion. I mean, it's like anything, I suppose, in life. I think you very rarely just stumble across something sort of sparks the interest. And for me, it was listening to those Radio 1 mixes, listening to music from Paul van Dyk, Chicane, Armin van Buuren when I was a kid, and it just stemmed from that really. Yeah, electronic music.
Okay. When did you start at the beginning as a DJ or as a producer?
DJ. So yeah, DJ first. I was always a DJ first, and then I started to learn how to make music when I was 20, maybe 19, 20. But I didn't really take it seriously for quite a while. I was learning, but I was spending a couple of hours here and there playing around with Logic Pro. Couldn't really get into it to begin with at the beginning, and then I suppose it's like anything, you got to just keep watching videos and tutorials and YouTube, and it just goes from there. Really.
That's my question. The first song you made, did you remember, or the first ones did you remember?
I mean, if I was to go back through one of my old hard drives, I'd probably be able to have a listen. But I mean, it was terrible. Yeah, absolutely terrible.
In general, what was the sound? It was good. It was like not at all.
Terrible, man. Terrible. I mean, it's like, I mean, you know what? I might have to dig out one of my old hard drives and just have a look, just out of curiosity, and have a listen, because it won't be great. It won't be good at all. But it's like anything. It just takes time. I think with music production, it's about the hours you spend. The more hours you spend inside your DAW, whether it be Cubase, Logic, Reason, Ableton, it doesn't really matter what it is, whatever you're using, they'll do the same thing. The more time you spend inside the program, I think, that's what it's about really, just putting the hours in.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the answer.
And
Well,
reference, man. Literally. Find a track from your favourite artist, drag it into the project, and just study the way it goes together. You know, where certain elements come in, where the hats come in, where the claps come in. That's probably one of the best things you can do when you learn it, in my opinion.
you have to tire your ears of that song and study 1,000 times to get that reference, like you're saying. Well, Kolonie has the time or the period where it was a duo. Like in 2021, if I don't remember. 2021, I guess.
Yeah.
It was the moment where you split it out. And how is it now to get Kolonie as a single artist before like you were a duo?
Yeah, I mean it's completely fine. I mean when I worked with Shane, I mean we worked together. I've known him for a long time, so we started working together when we was at college, and we had a good working relationship. You know, there was no hard feelings. He kind of, we were both on different paths. You know, Shane was busy with his job, his wife, his kids, etc. And obviously musically, we slightly had different styles. He came from a UK garage background. I'm not sure if you're aware of UK garage in Mexico, but it's different to it's electronic music, but it's very different to progressive and trance music. I mean, we work well together. We generally had the same vision. I think that's important when you're working in a duo. You need to both have a similar vision. That's key. But yeah, I mean, in terms of going from then to now, the only thing that's really changed from my perspective is I've been changing the sound quite a bit. I love the original music that we was making, I really do. But unfortunately, it's the music business, and it's so hard because of where you sit musically. 126 BPM, but it sounds quite trancey. You know what I mean? You're kind of in the middle. So
yeah.
If you're making that music, there's only a handful of labels you can really work with. Obviously Armada and Juna Beats. I mean, I've released a lot of music on 03. You've only really got a handful of labels that cater for that specific sound. And obviously the scene's changing, music changes, and I think you can easily pigeonhole yourself where you make a style of music, but there's only a limited place you can play it, and that's kind of why I decided to change the sound a little bit and go a little bit deeper, because I didn't want to be in the middle, and that's where I was kind of sat in between trance and progressive, and it's a tough place to be, because at the end of the day, if you're making music, you want to be DJing, you want to DJ, so it's all good making music. I mean, it depends what your goals are. I mean, some people are just producers, they want to spend all the time in the studio making music, but for me, coming from a DJing background, the goal was always to become a DJ and to DJ, and obviously have my own sort of music, my own sound. So yeah, it's quite tough really. You need to kind of have a bit of vision and work out who's going to play your music, where this music's going to go.
Yeah, I get it. Can you say, or did you say that if Kolonie has to take a decision where the trance sound or the new Kolonie or this progressive sound, would you say that you take the path or the way for progressive?
Yeah, definitely. And I think some of the tracks, I mean, I've not released a track for a few months because I've been working on some new music and just experimenting a little bit with the sound. But the new stuff that I've got coming is almost kind of it's progressive, 124 BPM, maybe 126 BPM, but it's on the deeper spectrum of the progressive sound. So it's less trancey. It's very trancey. None of the big breakdowns with the big pads and the big chord progressions and that sort of stuff. It's way more stripped back. So and that's kind of where I'm going with it. I mean, my track Reset is a pretty good example really of kind of where I'm going with the sound, what the vibe is. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm going with it.
Yeah, I think I have heard a little bit of more darkness, I'll say, on the new Kolonie sound. Before that, it was like a more trancey, more happiness, a little bit more happiness. And now here is more raw,
Definitely, man, definitely, 100%. I completely agree. I think the early stuff was, as I say, it was more borderline trance, which we never really planned on going towards the trancier spectrum. We just kind of ended up there. Not through choice, it just kind of ended up that way. I mean, remixing tracks like Fiji, Fiji was a trance track. There was a few other tracks as well. We remixed the Gareth Emery track. Obviously Gareth Emery's a trance artist. I've done a BT track as well. So some of the remixes we did were all from trance artists. So it's quite tough really to not end up steering more towards a trance genre when you're mixing music from trance artists. But certainly going forward, it's definitely going to be less trancey, more progressive, more deeper, I suppose.
Yeah.
It's kind of where I'm going with it, yeah.
Okay. So far, what's the best experience in your Kolonii life?
Best experience, I would say, I suppose the highlight really was working with Paul van Dyk, doing a track with Paul van Dyk.
Yeah, of course.
Paul was obviously, for me, an inspiration really. When I was a kid, I used to listen to, one of the first artists I was introduced to as a teenager would have been Paul van Dyk. So having the opportunity to work with him on a track was obviously a great opportunity. So that's probably been a highlight so far, working with Paul. DJing on a few shows with Paul as well. So it's good. That's
such a great goal, because you were saying like when you were 11, 12 years ago, you were like fan of that kind of producers, and some years ago, you're working hand next to each other,
Yeah, definitely, mate. Yeah, 100%. That was certainly that's been a highlight so far, working with Paul. And there's a lot more to come, really. Hopefully, I'll do another track with him in the future, and it's all good.
Sometimes the problem to have the best experience of your life is that you're wondering what's gonna be the best one next, or what's gonna win this experience, So what are the plans for Kolonii into the future?
Yeah, so the plan for the future is obviously the sound, tweak the sound slightly, go more deeper, and that's kind of really where I'm going with it, taking the sound deeper. Gonna just really push it forward with a different sound. Work with some vocalists as well. I think that's one thing I've been lacking. Let's be honest, the best tracks, the most successful tracks usually have a vocal, and when you're trying to break through, it's good to have. So I wanna work with some vocalists, especially towards the end of the year, this year, and into next year as well. Explore a different sound and just build it around that. Really, it all comes back to the music.
Okay. Well, we are getting into the final part of this interview, and with every artist that steps here, the Aural Sessions Radio guest mix, I want to get away the producer life, or the artist life, and get into a little bit more of the personal perspective of the musical industry. So I want to give you this question. What will you say to the artists that are gonna starting, or they have some dreams, but maybe they have some obstacles, or they have the fear to give this very first steps, they think like, oh, maybe I won't get success, or I won't be very good with my skills on productions, or I don't know, should I do it? What would you say to these artists?
I would say, obviously, firstly, you need to be 110% passionate about the process. If you're not the sort of person that is likely to sit there for hours and work on a track and do tedious things, it's probably not the best career to try and go into. It's not easy. As I say, I class myself as a relatively new artist. If you look at the whole span of most artists' kind of lifestyle, they might spend 20 years, 30 years building their way up. So I'm only 4 years into it really with Kolonii. So it's still early days for me, but I think some of the obstacles you're going to face when you're a new artist and you're trying to release music is dealing with labels, signing music, getting your music out there as well. I mean, there's pros and cons really. We're in 2023. You don't necessarily need a big label behind you. You know, you can make a track and you can trend on TikTok, and you can blow it off the back of that. So there are some great pros of being around in 2023. Some of the cons, I would say, are just the sheer volume of music that is out there. Anyone can make a track now on the laptop, and I mean, you can technically start your own label, produce a track, master it, release it on your own label, you know, and if you want to market it right, you can get it out there. I mean, there are so many opportunities nowadays, but there's a drawbacks. So I just think it's going to be tough, but as I say, it's an extremely competitive market as well. But I suppose the three pieces of advice I would give would be, firstly, have a clear understanding of where you want to take the sound. This is something that I never had, and you know, I've bounced around with different genres and different sounds. You want to just pick a specific genre and just focus on that one genre, I think, when you're trying to get your name out there. Pick a handful of artists that inspire you and you like their music. And obviously ask yourself, what you need to be asking yourself as well when you're making music, who's going to play this track? This is something I never did for a long time. I used to just get in the studio, make a track and think, yeah, it sounds pretty good, go and sign it, but who's actually going to play that track? You know, you want DJs playing your music. That's how you get your name out there. You need your tracks being played on the right shows, on the right radio stations, and it all kind of builds around that. So yeah, it's not easy, but it's certainly doable with obviously hard work, determination, and having a clear vision of where you're going with it. So yeah, be very focused on what sort of sound, where you want to take it. I think that's the key thing, I would say. And don't
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks for the answer. It's very inspiring to hear those words from a producer who has a lot of goals achieved. Yeah. We know we're gonna have a small or a mini mix from KOLONIE here in the guest mix now. What are gonna sound here in the guest mix? Some classics, some new IDs, some remix. Do you have something special for us?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, what I'll do is I'll put the 3 releases that I've had this year, and I've been working on a track the last few weeks. It's not finished yet. I'll have it finished within the next few days, and I'll put it in the mix as well. So yeah, I'll include a new ID in the mix.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Well, before we finish this interview, let's say, are we gonna trying your Spanish? Would you mind?
Say that again, man. Yeah, I'll try some Spanish. Yeah,
Congrats, Aural Sessions Radio in Spanish is like Felicidades, Aural Sessions Radio. The last words you can say easily, but Felicidades is like congrats. Can you?
Felicidades, is that right?
Yeah, now get it all. Felicidades, Aural Sessions Radio.
Felicidades, Aural Sessions Radio.
Yeah, mate. You did it. Mate, you're such a nice person, a nice artist, such a professional. I wanted to repeat it again. It was a moment special for me when I was laid down with my 26-year-old and thinking to creating a space for many artists, Mexican artists, global artists, and having you here for me, it's like when you were 11 or 12 years old. I think that you remember so good that moment when you hear some Anjuna Above and Beyond tune or Armin van Buuren. I don't know, that feeling, it's I don't know how to say it, but just it feels. When I heard that Fiji KOLONIE remix, I knew that I have to follow KOLONIE where it goes. 4 years ago, I have you here with this special interview, accomplishing the 100 episodes, and I want to thank you so gratefully because you have you take the time to be here.
Mate, you're more than welcome. As I say, I'd really appreciate you reaching out, and as I say, really appreciate the support, man. Absolute pleasure.
Yeah, thank you. Well, let's go to the guest mix with Kolonie here on the 100th episode of Aural Sessions Radio. Thank you, mate.
Take care, my friend. Speak soon.
this feels strange.
Y bien, lo logramos. Logramos 100 episodios, amigos. Logramos 100 historias. Logramos 100 capítulos con más de 100 artistas mexicanos, con más de 100 propuestas musicales, más de 6,000 minutos. Gracias a todos los fotógrafos que me ayudan con las portadas. Gracias a toda la gente que se involucra, a las personas que apoyan para las entrevistas en cuanto a la parte de clubs. Muchas gracias a todos los que se involucran. Obviamente, muchas gracias a todos los artistas que aparecen en las diferentes secciones a través de 4 años. Ustedes son la carne, ustedes son los chefs que cocinan y le dan rumbo a este programa a través de 100 episodios. Gracias a ustedes más que nada por aventarse a darle play a un podcast, a un radio show del cual quizás desconocen y poco a poco comienzan a escuchar seguidamente. Nada de este episodio, nada de este capítulo, nada de este podcast sería posible sin tanto apoyo como lo es un play. Muchas gracias, feliz cumpleaños a Aural Sessions Radio, que vengan muchísimo más episodios, que venga mucha más música, que es para lo que realmente y únicamente yo estoy haciendo esto. compartir la mejor música, la más actual, junto a ustedes, haciéndoles saber que hay mucho talento en México, mucho talento en el mundo a través de toda la escena dance. Voy a dejar las redes sociales a través de este episodio para que puedan encontrar a Santiago Luna en todas sus redes, puedan darle seguimiento a su trabajo y a sus nuevas fechas. A KOLONIE lo pueden encontrar donde quieran escribiéndolo en Google y aparece un mar de información a través de la web. Eso es todo. Les dejo también un enlace para que puedan descargar el episodio y escucharlo también en Spotify a través de la lista o el tracklist oficial. Muchas gracias por todo una vez más. Nos vemos en el siguiente episodio. Conecta el alma, baila la mente y nos vemos hasta la próxima. Bye.